On the 29th of June 2020, Sony's premier online subscription service, PlayStation Plus, turns 10 years old. Many happy returns to you, digital subscription service, incapable of understanding the passing of time. I hope Sony bought you some RAM. Since its debut in 2010, the service has gone through numerous changes, adding and removing a number of features and giving away a varied selection of games across multiple platforms. To celebrate, we've examined the service's first decade, documenting its soaring highs and disappointing lows. I'm Liam from Pushsquare, and this is a history of the highs and lows of the first 10 years of PlayStation Plus. In 2010, it's fair to say that Sony were in a very different position to where they find themselves today. 3 years after the disastrous launch of the PlayStation 3, the publisher was still desperately attempting to play catch-up with Microsoft's hugely popular Xbox 360. At their E3 conference that year, Sony continued to reaffirm their commitment to AAA first-party blockbusters alongside a wide variety of casual titles and new services. Sony's message was clear. We're still a worthy competitor in this fight. Looking back at the conference today highlights just how different the industry was 10 years ago. Kevin Butler was still very much the face of PlayStation's newly revamped brand, and the character took to the stage in order to do, well, whatever this is.
Because every gamer is a true gamer. Motion gamers, sitting gamers, everyone. And though we may pledge fanboy allegiances to different flags, deep down inside we all serve one master, one king. And his name is gaming. Forever may he reign!
Sony revealed PlayStation Move, demonstrating that no matter how well the Xbox 360 may have been selling, it was nothing compared to the all-consuming beast that was the Nintendo Wii, and, hilariously, the entire conference to be viewed from within a digital replication of Sony's E3 booth from within PlayStation Home. Ah, the glory days. Towards the end of the presentation, then CEO of Sony Computer Entertainment, Jack Tretton, took to the stage in order to announce a brand new subscription service for the PlayStation Network called PlayStation Plus.
PlayStation Plus provides PlayStation Network users with options to expand and enhance their gaming experience.
For a set fee, players would be given a bundle of games and software features. Tretton was careful to explain that Plus was not a required subscription, more so an accompaniment to the existing PlayStation Network services that he assured would remain free. Whereas the Xbox 360 required gamers to pay a monthly fee in order to play games online, PSN famously offered the same services for absolutely nothing. And Sony were understandably terrified that PlayStation Plus's announcement would confuse gamers into thinking Sony were adopting a similar model. Initial reactions were middling at best. Messaging was a little confusing around game ownership. Remember, this was 2010, digital subscription services were still very new, and in general, many people chose to dismiss Plus as an unnecessary waste of cash. PlayStation Plus officially launched June 2010, costing $39.99 a year or $11.99 for 3 months. The biggest draw initially were the games. A selection of PSN titles, some of which could be played on both the PlayStation 3 and the PSP. These ranged from full retail releases to digital-only titles, PlayStation 1 classics, and Minis, a short-lived indie game initiative by Sony that allowed small developers to publish their games on the PlayStation Portable. Minis were also compatible with the PlayStation 3 and were largely... Alongside digital content, PlayStation Plus also granted subscribers access to incredible new features, such as the ability to download updates in the background on your PlayStation 3. I know, it's really exciting. At launch, players were given access to Little Big Planet and Wipeout HD, as well as PlayStation 1 classic Destruction Derby and 2 minis, Age of Zombies and Field Runners. Sure. Subscribers also gained access to full game trials for Shatter and Savage Moon. That's a 1-hour trial, not the full game, just a 1-hour trial. Moving on, players could also download a Little Big Planet theme, a PlayStation theme, and, get this, not 1, but 2 Fat Princess premium avatars. I know, that £40, it just pays for itself. For its first year, PlayStation Plus was understandably ignored by the majority of PlayStation players. It effectively felt like the digital equivalent of one of those peripheral paths you can buy when new consoles come out. Was it a requirement in order to play? No. Did it improve your experience in any significant way? Well, that depends. Did you think that Ethos on the PlayStation 3 was life-changing? I'm gonna go with no. It was effectively a pile of digital tat. 12 months in, the best titles added to the service included Little Big Planet, Wipeout HD, Burn Zombie Burn, which I will maintain is a great game, Let's Dolph, and a couple of PlayStation 1 classics such as Crash Team Racing. Yeah, it wasn't great. Apart from all of those free avatars, of course. In March 2011, Sony added cloud saves as part of the service, a fantastic feature that persists to this day. The ability to back up saves to the cloud was a novel idea at the time and justified the relatively low subscription cost for a lot of those worried about losing data or who just wanted an easy way of moving their saves between systems. On the 20th of April 2011, after 3 full days of network intrusions, Sony turned off PlayStation Network after confirming that the service had been hacked by a malicious group. The outage lasted a full 23 days and the personal details of 77 million users were stolen. As a way of apologising for the extended downtime and breach of privacy, Sony announced the Welcome Back program that was given to players on the 3rd of June. Alongside a number of free games, players were also given a 30-day subscription to PlayStation Plus. For a lot of people, including me, this was their first experience with the service, and if you were anything like me, you downloaded the 2D Adventures of Rotating Octopus before realising you were a 19-year-old university student and this was not worth the subscription cost. Following another middling year of content where highlights included Dead Nation, Streets of Rage 2, and the original PlayStation 1 trilogies of both Resident Evil and Crash Bandicoot, Sony took to the stage at E3 2012 in order to announce a fundamental change to the service. Starting from June, PlayStation Plus would now offer what Sony referred to as an instant game collection, a library of titles that could be downloaded at any point, with new games being swapped in for older ones every few weeks. It was, in essence, similar to the modern incarnation of Xbox Game Pass, a subscription service that provided players with an ever-growing library of titles for a low monthly cost. Great games such as Virtua Fighter 5, Just Cause 2, Infamous 2, and Little Big Planet 2 were added to the service, and more were promised for the months to come. This news was well received, with many players seeing far more value in an ever-changing library compared to the slim pickings offered in the 2 years since launch. Over the next few months, titles such as the original Borderlands, The Walking Dead, and Pac-Man Championship Edition were added to the collection. In November 2012, Sony announced that the PlayStation Vita, released earlier that year, would be joining the program. 3 first-party exclusives were the first titles to be added to the handheld game collection: Uncharted, Golden Abyss, Gravity Rush, and Wipeout 2048, with Sony promising 2 additional titles for the platform every month moving forward. Thanks to Sony's cross-buy initiative, many PlayStation 3 titles included as part of the service would also be playable on the handheld. A win-win, to the point where 90% of my Vita collection is all tied into PlayStation Plus. If they ever turn that off, it doesn't really bear thinking about. From this point, PlayStation Plus became a far better value for money. Throughout 2012, players received titles such as Street Fighter 4, BioShock 2, Vanquish, Spec Ops: The Line, Demon's Souls, Sleeping Dogs, and many, many more. At E3 2013, Jack Tretton once again took to the stage to confirm that PlayStation Plus would carry over to the soon-to-be-released PlayStation 4. Players would receive House Marquee's Resogun, Contrast, and an exclusive but pared-back version of Drive Club as soon as the console was released. In a drastic shift in tone from his announcement in 2010, Tretton also cautiously revealed that PlayStation Plus would be required to play online multiplayer on the PlayStation 4. The announcement was met with a little shock, but a lot of understanding. PlayStation 3 may have offered its online services for free, but the quality of its service compared to Xbox Live was limiting, to say the least. Most players were happy enough to jump on board with PlayStation Plus for the next generation, especially after it had clearly received numerous improvements to its content offering over the years. With the launch of the PlayStation 4, PlayStation Plus became extremely hit or miss. While the quality of PlayStation 3 titles became better due to the release of its successor, PlayStation 4 titles weren't great. PS4 titles mainly included forgettable indie games, while the PlayStation 3 got the likes of Batman Arkham City, Tomb Raider, and Borderlands 2. In June 2014, Sony changed the format yet again, moving away from the instant game collection concept and replacing it with the monthly release schedule we see today. The company also began to release 2 PlayStation 4 games as part of the service. For the next 4 years, things remained largely the same. The release of Rocket League on the PlayStation 4 in July 2015 was arguably responsible for the game's success, with many people playing the game on launch day that may have otherwise written it off as an uninspired indie game, and remains perhaps the most culturally important release that the service has ever cultivated so far. But in general, it was just like my grandma used to say. Some months you'd get infamous Setting Sun, and others you'd get Handball 16. Woof. Seeing that, no matter what was on offer, there was always something new to find. PlayStation Plus became a way for publishers to showcase smaller titles that the general gaming population would otherwise have missed. Great experiences like Life is Strange, Tales from the Borderlands, Transformers Devastation, and Tearaway Unfolded. On top of this, the quality of PlayStation 3 games was constantly improving, with the majority of the console's best titles becoming available over the passing years and months. However, players' perception of PlayStation Plus began to slowly shift during this period. Plus was no longer the optional bundle of goodies it once was. It was now primarily the way to play games online with friends, and the games were now an additional bonus on top of your required subscription. With more subscribers than ever before, Plus became a big deal. Suddenly, millions of players would wait with cautious anticipation to see what games would be made available next, and many would compare it to Microsoft's own take on PlayStation Plus, games with gold. If games weren't up to scratch, lots of people would not be happy. In February 2018, Sony announced that they would no longer be giving away PlayStation 3 and Vita titles as part of the PlayStation Plus subscription from March 2019. Although an understandable move, the PS4 succeeded the PlayStation 3 in 2013, and the Vita had long been dead in the water by this point, it was met with concern from subscribers. With the cost of Plus increasing over the years, many felt that only offering 2 games instead of the usual 6 changed the value proposition of the service. To calm people's nerves, Sony gave away Bloodborne and Ratchet & Clank in the same month. Because nothing calms the nerves like Bloodborne, let me tell you. The final year of support for PlayStation 3 and Vita was perhaps the service's best year yet for PlayStation 4. Great titles including Mad Max, Rayman Legends, XCOM 2, Heavy Rain, Destiny 2, God of War 3 Remastered, and Yakuza Kiwami were all given away, while titles on the PlayStation 3 included such hits as Toy Home and Zombie Driver HD. Oh, thanks Sony, that's really nice of you. In March 2019, the company waved goodbye to their aging systems by giving away Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots on the PlayStation 3, and Road Aces on the Vita. Look, they supported the Vita for 7 years at this point. They were really scraping the bottom of the barrel. Over the past 12 months, Plus has had its ups and downs, but has generally offered a great selection of titles. As the PlayStation 4's life cycle comes to an end, Sony have given away big hitters such as Wipeout Omega Collection, Batman Arkham Knight, The Last of Us Remastered, Titanfall 2, Uncharted The Nathan Drake Collection, BioShock Collection, Shadow of the Colossus, and Uncharted 4. It's undeniable that since shedding away 2 other consoles, the quality of PlayStation Plus has improved, generally speaking. I think it's fair to say that it's been a slow but steady ride for Sony's subscription service. Since 2010, PlayStation Plus has gone through many iterations, beginning life as a bundle of disparate features for players looking to enhance their PlayStation 3 experience, to being a requirement for online play on the PlayStation 4. It has given away over 650 games compatible with 4 of Sony's consoles, and looks set to continue to do so with this year's release of the PlayStation 5. It seems likely that Sony will continue to support the PlayStation 4 via PlayStation Plus for some time to come, especially seeing as the PlayStation 5 will be fully backwards compatible with the system. So there we have it, a history of the highs and lows of PlayStation Plus. What are your favourite memories of the service, and where would you like to see it go next? Let us know in the comments below. We may just do a video about it in the future. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and make sure to subscribe to Push Square for everything PlayStation. Thank you, as always, for watching.